Hello, everybody, and welcome to another glaring omission of excellence in extermination from the egregious, angry podcast hosts of SFXX Play and an exciting new episode of Off the Rails.
Huh?
My brain actually forgot. Welcome to Jump In, Play More.
That's great. Welcome to SLXX Talks, everybody.
Today we're recording from an iPhone 4S inside of a basement where echo is prevalent. With us today we have Foxxy Steve and myself, iChrisPanda, to present to you all the latest and greatest in gaming news that features the letter X followed by box. It's very specific, and on top of it being specific, there is not much to say.
You know,
So, if you do you want to explain it, or should I?
we would have been on last week,
Sure would have.
but I'm stupid.
Sure are.
We recorded half an episode.
Sure did.
Because the whole thing didn't get recorded because my phone was full.
Sure did.
But that's not the case anymore. I deleted everything. Just all the information. Treasured photos I'm never going to see again. Just so I can make sure we have space to record this show.
Now, I know what you're thinking out there. Hey, Foxy Steve, if you record the videos on your phone, why keep them after you've already made the episode?
Because, sir, I officially I would like to keep them as a backup. Unofficially, I'm dumb because I could just because they're just on the computer.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
They're just there already.
Yes.
And on the cloud. They have no need to
They
be
have
on
no
my
need.
phone.
No, they don't.
No reason at all.
That's
to be on
why
my
I'm
phone.
like, why do you have no space?
I just keep forgetting to delete things. But now I've deleted most shit off of there. So now plenty of space. This episode will be up and you can laugh at me.
It was really bad. But if you like this, be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell on YouTube so that many people can see this and you can share with them your love of Xbox by sharing our love of Xbox. Because, boy, it's green.
Xbox.
Yeah, you're really bad at it.
It's a box.
You're really awful.
Xbox.
I can't wait to get, like, MJF on the show. He hates games. He's not a nerd, apparently. Anywho, and if you're an audio listener, there's several things, like, what, Spotify?
Let me tell you something, brother. You can go to Spotify, you can go to Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, all of the podcast services around the globe, including SoundCloud, too. Check us out there on the audio side. Please be sure to give us a 5-star rating because, look, I love you and you love me. And we're all one big happy family. Only if you give us a 5-star rating on Spotify. All right. Trying to get that front page at some point. Yeah.
So, we are now here in the podcast portion.
This is now the...
There's the intro portion, the actual podcast portion.
The podcast portion of the show.
Where we begin to podcast.
We are casting via the pods.
Now, I know what you're thinking. You guys are talking as if you don't know what... Well, if you read it, then obviously we had a topic to talk about. But now you're just like, you guys sound like you don't know what you're going to talk about. But that is correct. Because we do kind of know, and we kind of don't.
We kind of didn't write them down in sequential, or it's fine. This is what's called an organic conversation.
Yeah, like last week was really muffed. It was bad. It was scuffed. Because we had a lot to talk about, and we did talk quite a bit, but like he mentioned before, we lost a good chunk of the half of the show. So the beginning part, phenomenal. I don't know where it cut off at.
It's probably the best show we've ever done. Like, the fact that you don't hear it right now is probably good because you would probably cancel every other podcast you listen to because of how good that one was.
Whereas, like, now you have to deal with a ho-hum episode. I guarantee...
This is not going to be a
I guarantee this episode will still be better than the one that was, like, maybe two or three episodes ago. It was really bad, and we knew it was going to be bad. We came in, we were like, we don't have anything to talk about.
Shit to talk about.
We're just going to wing it. We're just going to wing it. Okay. And we were just like, boy, we finished it. And we were like, boy, this episode sucks.
So this time we do have. There's plenty to talk about. There's plenty of things.
So I'd like to talk about the release of the Xbox Series X. It just came out.
That's not true.
Too far back. Okay, I'd like to talk about the release of Halo Infinite. It just came out.
No.
Okay, still not here yet. I would like to talk about how Deathloop hit Game Pass.
There you go. That's recent. That hit Game Pass. That's on there.
Okay, so normally we do like a Game Pass pick of the week, and that'll be at the end of the show, so stay tuned and listen for that.
Yep.
Deathloop came out, and if you haven't played Deathloop, which if you only have an Xbox, makes sense, because it was tied to PC and PS5s. Now, why is this interesting news? Because it's still a Bethesda game, but there was an exclusivity deal for that game's release before the acquisition of Bethesda GameWorks Studio into Microsoft. So they fulfilled the obligation of Sony. Now the game's on Game Pass, and it'll probably stay there indefinitely because of Bethesda owning it.
Yeah.
And I highly recommend you guys play it. It's extremely fun. If you enjoy Dishonored at all, the gameplay style, the options, the varying mission structures of it, you'll enjoy it. If you like commentary on how you should react with your life, I recommend it. I think the gameplay loop is very fun.
It's extremely fun.
The gameplay
loop. Oh, I see what you did.
It is.
Yes,
it's extremely fun.
It is quite good.
I enjoy how it's you can kind of tackle anything. You can be really stealthy. You can go in guns blazing. You can use enemies against one another. It's very, very interesting. And it's all based off of a infinite time loop sequence. Through a multiverse thing, just play it. The story will kind of intrigue you.
Yeah.
And it has multiplayer through cross-platform. I don't know if it goes through PS5. I know it does PC. And it's very hilarious how one person controls one character and another person controls another, and they could interrupt your mission at any point.
Yep, it can come in there and ruin your day. I love the art style of it. It's kind of this weird, kind of like 70s aesthetic to it. I think it's just really cool.
I love the dialogue, personally.
Dialogue is great.
The conversations that the main characters actually have with one another seems very natural.
It does.
It's a very natural flow with how they present it, and it makes the discussions they have feel very enjoyable to listen to and be a part of.
Yeah, like Deathloop coming to Game Pass alone just raises. Game Pass is already great, and like Deathloop coming there just keeps making it such an amazing value. It's insane.
It does.
And I know we mentioned it on the on the Ghost Cast, but other stuff too, like Ni no Kuni is on there as well now, as well as
Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey is on there, which I played a little bit of just to see if it had my save, and of course it does from when I played on my Xbox One a million years ago, and it's enhanced because it ran like trash on my Xbox One X, and now it runs. It's so smooth. Like I love it. I love it. I love the whole ecosystem.
Good for you. So yeah, go check out Deathloop. It's pretty sweet. Let's see. We could talk about. Grand Theft Auto 6 leaked, right? And we totally didn't talk about this on the episode you didn't hear. But man, it leaked, and I saw things, and it was crazy, and they caught that motherfucker.
They got that ragamuffin. They got him.
They caught him within a week. Now, let alone, this person was some, 16 or 17-year-old kid.
A 17-year-old from Oxfordshire. This is
so
from
Great Britain, I think it is. Britannia.
Britannia.
And
London, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And first off, I hate to give this kid any kudos, but to be 17 and be able to hack into some network like that, and this is apparently the second time he's done this too, because apparently he did it with Uber, from what I remember as well.
Mm-hmm.
First off, I'm happy they caught him, because this is still illegal activity, and you deserve to be caught and have the consequences attributed to you. But it's very impressive that somebody at his age can get into that network, and obviously he needs to be charged and dealt with properly, but I feel like some of these places are going to be like, well, we need to figure out how you were able to do it. Because these are some big secure networks that you easily got into, and you're not even 18 years old.
I mean, legit. Apparently, he's being charged with computer misuse and breaching bail conditions. So we'll see what happens to this. It's a shame because he's just a kid. So hopefully this doesn't ruin his life. Honestly, He might get a job out of this.
You know, I have to go with the old-time Dave Chappelle skit. You say he's just a kid, but how old is 16 really? Think about it. He's 17 years old. Mm-hmm. It's not like he doesn't have cognitive thoughts and reasons about his actions and what's good and what's bad, especially nowadays where the internet is so prevalent and people are able to tell others, this is what's good, this is what's bad, these are what's going on in the world and things that you should and shouldn't do. Mm-hmm. And yet he knew.
He knew what he was doing.
He knew what he was doing.
Yes.
Like I said, it's impressive that he was able to get into these networks and break in and gather such highly classified information.
I think when I was 17, you know, acquiring Photoshop and shit like that, I knew it was wrong, but I knew I needed it. when I knew I had no money.
When I was 17,
you wouldn't steal a car, would you?
When I was 17. I'm trying to think about what was hacked for me. When I was 17, I think I had a hacked PSP. So I learned how to hack that. But that was because YouTube tutorials were already existing. And they were just like, yeah, if you have a PSP that's not past this firmware, here's how you do it. Blip, 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 blip. There you go. Now you can install whatever you want. Fantastic.
YouTube was around when you were 17?
Yeah, man. Remember, I graduated high school in 2008.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah, I know you graduated in 1972. But shit, he is actually a lot older than he looks. He's like 93.
93. I'm part tree.
93. I just added an accent.
But
my English over the past couple days has been freaking awful. It's been so bad. I have stumbled over word after word. So if I stammer and stumble, you'll know why.
It's okay. It's not a scripted show.
The only thing that's scripted is that, like I said, he's only 17 years old. I'm just trying to slide back in. Do
you want him to go under the jail?
I mean,
what he did was fucked.
He deserves jail time. Obviously, he doesn't deserve to go to the big boy butt jail. But I guess they're all big boy butt jail after the stories I've been told when JD was there. I was just like, oh crap.
God, for white collar like hacking crime for a kid, like his cat, he didn't kill nobody. He can't be going to big boy butt jail for killing nobody.
He didn't kill anybody.
I mean, for hacking a server, like
it's still bad.
You're gonna have like flavorless peas for sure, like.
Peas are already how do you take the flavor out of flavorless food?
They got no flavor to them. He gonna have his gruel.
His gray circles.
Yeah.
What are these?
But he don't need to be sharing no cell with Oscar, the biker gang dude, skinhead. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn.
He's just gonna be sharing it with Wesley Snipes and his tax evasion.
Hey, maybe it's gonna go take the Martha Stewart prison.
Yeah, that's the type. That's not the butt one, but I mean, at the same time, it can be the butt one.
Sorry.
That's what I'm trying to put out. It's like, there's the butt jail, and then there's the butt jail. Like, there's the one where people are like, man, I love man booty. And then there's like, I could partake in it. And it's like...
Okay, so there's one where it's a choice, and there's the other one where you don't have a choice.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That's my decree. Like, and because some people get into prison and they don't know how to fucking act. Like, yes, you are restricted and you are limited. And I've heard things about jail, depending on which one you go to, where it's like, it's bad, but it's like it could be so much worse for you. And then you hear about like the state pen lockdown, Uso Penitentiary.
Yahoo! No.
Yahoo! No. And it's just like, yeah, you eating gruel, you getting shanked, you getting plummeted in your undercarriage. You gonna kiss him. See, what's funny is all I can think of is, I think it was Haunted House 2, where Mark Henry was like, come on, get off that computer and kiss me in my hot mouth.
Oh.
Then like 5 other dudes showed up. Oh man, it's a very funny clip. If you haven't seen what I'm talking about, just look it up. But no, I mean, like I said, he deserves to get the biggest treatment of the law he can possibly get, but I don't know.
A message needs to be sent, so hopefully this person learns from this shit and doesn't fucking do it again.
I think if you were to look into a place of like, you need to be disciplined, But at the same time, we need to understand how you got the access to such
Yeah, so we can
encryptions and whatnot.
So we can tighten up
they
our
need to find a
security.
way to do it on the down low. Because, you know, some people will like do this and be like, boy, attributed with such crime now works for Rockstar. It's like, okay, you can't do that because if you put it out in the public, people are like, so you mean to tell me if I hacking into Google, if I can hack into Google, I may get a 6-figure job?
I think that's the thing, though. If you hack into Google and Microsoft, I think they
actually want. They will hire you.
They'll hire you. Yeah.
Because once you hack in, then you tell them, they're like, yeah, we were able to access this, so job, please?
Jail time, then job. They might do a thing where they, like, you know, shorten some of his sentence if he shows them how he did it.
Probably.
Kind of thing.
Who knows?
Also, yeah, Grand Theft Auto developers did come out and say they were disappointed, but it will have no impact on any of the long-term development of the
not
game.
At all.
So.
Like I said that on the Ghost Show last week. I don't think it was going to stop anything.
No.
The footage we were seeing was early, and from the dates that they were talking about having it released in the documentation, which was 2023, 2024, I can't remember specifically. The stuff we saw looked even earlier than that. I'm like, this is like very early stuff. Like, it looks decent, but it looks very early.
Some people didn't have faces.
That's why I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like, if you've ever played any Grand Theft Auto game, any Rockstar game for that matter, they try to put a lot of detail into the world to make it feel as vibrant and livable as possible. So, this is not the same, and we'll be fine.
It'll be fine. Everything's going to be fine.
So, any other thing you'd like to pinpoint, Bleb?
Yeah, I mean, you know, the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 beta has been out now in some way, some fashion since, what, the 22nd?
I don't remember.
Even before that? You know, this whole staggered, pre-order it, play it early thing is annoying.
It is annoying. But we've all played it.
We've all played it.
The beta is over. Infinity Ward has talked about it.
Oh.
They've talked about, because people have been giving them feedback since the PlayStation week, and then into the week where Steam and Xbox users got to play. So, I know I've spent way more time in it than you did.
Yes, I've got to play it a bit. You've got to play it a lot more.
Yeah, I was able to stream it, I think, like 2 times on Steam and on PlayStation, since I didn't have I played the Steam version because I predominantly play most of my games on PC. I think I installed it on the Xbox, and I never got around to playing it because I think by the time we were done, we just couldn't do it. And the PlayStation one was the week early, so obviously I was able to play it. But, so, first initial impressions, it's a much prettier game somehow. It's still 2019, but it looks better. It's more vibrant. The colors for the maps and some of the lighting is much more aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah, I like a lot of the particle effects and stuff like that I was seeing.
I think that it is a good game to look at. I am very pleased with that so far. I enjoyed the maps that they had on offer. I think each map felt pretty enjoyable for me. I didn't hate any of them, and that includes the ground war / invasion maps that they had, which I can go into full length as well to talk about. But yeah, they were good. Third person mode is probably the weakest thing for me personally. I think it's neat that it's back.
Yeah.
That's about it.
It serves the same kind of purpose the last third person mode did. A fun little gimmick. I'm not going to be spending a lot of my time in it.
Some people really enjoy it. I can understand why. I don't think it's terrible, but I just don't. I can see how it's like you put third person in a game that's made off of first person, and you can really tell that this isn't supposed to be here because you're able to peer around corners way too easily, and you have an advantage when playing against other players because of third person. It makes it a little cheap, so I'm like, not a big fan of it. I played some Search. It was Search. I've played the other 2 modes, which are like Search. They're also fun. I personally think that the Modern Warfare games benefit very well to like the search and destroy style gameplay. I think, yeah, TDM, domination, all that's kind of fun. But for whatever reason, these games feel really good with that, like, okay, we need to be patient, and then we can shoot, and then next round and continue. I think it's a very good pacing for those style of games. Like Black Ops they're fine, but because people are bullet sponges, it doesn't like carry over as well. But this one is more twitch and reactive, so it feels a little better as a result. Now, I would like to talk about like Ground War and Invasion, which was the second week stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Invasion was if Ground War was mixed with Titanfall. So it's, I think, 10v10 with AI bots around the map. So you can get your like kill streaks and stuff as well. And I felt like it was pretty lively. It felt really good to play in, and I was like, this is neat. But of course, if you're shooting a dude, you can't sometimes distinguish if it's a player character or just an NPC. So there is that, but I do find it enjoyable. I don't think it's bad. And Ground War feels like if Battlefield was done right. And that's kind of a shame.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
Because I know the new Battlefield that came out in 2042 didn't wow us.
No, it didn't hit the mark.
But they have consistently made improvements to make that game much better. So I will say this. I will sign, stamp it, and deliver it. I think now is the time to actually play 2042. Well, maybe not right now, because you're probably going to play like Overwatch and fucking Call of Duty. But if you want to play it, I think you can play it, and it'll be just fine. I think the game is at a level where it's like it gives you the premium Battlefield experience, and the bugs are pretty much like not really there. I think the other issues is the way that they're handling transactions. I don't think the game is worth the price that it is at $60 still.
No.
On sale, it's usually about $30, and I think that's at least decent. But I think there's like extra content as well. But that's beyond the point. We're talking about Call of Duty, and Ground War feels solid.
Yeah, it's definitely different than previous Ground Wars with like the implementation of all those different vehicles and how and whatnot. Definitely gives me like if Battlefield was like super polished.
Mm-hmm. Because Battlefield usually, well, it was polished, but it was just like missing something over the past like few iterations. And I know that this Ground War, and I've seen people complain about it because they kind of like how you would get a large scale map in Call of Duty and you would do Ground War and it would just be bodies to bodies consistently. So you could just shoot. Whereas they don't care for this because it feels a little more spaced out, which I understand completely. You want what you want, but they may still offer that in the full release. We kind of got like a small snippet of a game here.
Oh, so I noticed you're engaged quite a bit in Ground War.
Yeah, I felt very engaged.
Yeah, like I didn't really see large swaths of like nothing happening, especially around each flag. Like there was always, and each flag is like feels like its own miniature map.
Yeah, it feels like a smaller map.
Yeah.
It's just that some of the sidelines are long, so I could shoot you from like A down to like D.
Oh yeah, I mean that's gonna be Long Shot City, baby.
Yeah, so if they make long shot camos a thing, boy howdy you go from there. As far as, and this is just like the impressions of the modes. Guns feel really good. They have a very good sense of like realism to them, but also a bit of arcadiness like Call of Duty's kind of used to. It's a very fine balance, especially with how they're changing the system of the loadout kits and perk packages. There's so many things to talk about for the game itself, because like perks are changing. The way that guns are around works, because you'll get one base platform and then and then other variants of that gun spiral off. So you have the M4, but you can unlock the M16 variant that comes from it. And every attachment you made on the M4 class prior carries over to the M16, and vice versa for everything else. That's kind of how the ecosystem works for guns, and it's fantastic, to be honest with you. I really enjoy that aspect. The gunsmith itself, it goes back to you can only add 5 attachments, unlike Vanguard, which had, I believe, 7 or 8 or 10. I don't remember how. It was a lot. It was too fucking many. That's what it was. It was too many. And Vanguard was just like, yeah, we got attachments in the game. Just throw them all on a gun. Our game's bad anyway. Just try and make it as fun as possible for you. I don't know. Just get out of my face.
Yes,
just get out of here. At least this feels a little more gratifying and rewarding. The perk package system is interesting. I remember when we were first talking about it, we were like, yeah, you earn your perks 4 minutes. You earn the third one. 8 minutes is when you earn the ultimate perk. They did come out and change it so you can earn them quicker based on what you do in actions.
Oh, okay.
But that's kind of about it. And I think that's all I have to say about that. Now, and then there's gameplay, which is good for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I find it personally to feel a little, I don't know, quicker, snappier definitely than Vanguard.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it feels even a little bit quicker than the 2019 Modern Warfare.
I think,
just in terms of of movement and.
I'm trying to like pinpoint my thoughts on this because I've been kind of like in a toss-up situation because the game is extremely fun and I did have a good time with it. I think the best case scenario to describe the gameplay is that the game feels smooth, responsive, fast. They eliminated slide canceling. So when you go into a slide animation, you can't immediately shoot while it's the moment you enter the animation. So there's not a bunch of people sliding around on their knees and shooting.
That was the biggest adjustment with the slide shoot. Then nothing came out, but uh-oh.
So it's an adjustment. People found ways around it to get slide canceling to work. I eventually learned how to slide cancel in this game thanks to people on TikTok. And in order to do it, you would not have wanted to do it. You need to enter tactical sprint. You need to press crouch to slide, then ADS, melee, and then press jump to then move again.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. That's just not happening.
It is cumbersome and annoying. It is super bad. And I'm like, this is not... On keyboard, I don't even want to imagine because it's just left control, right mouse click, F, spacebar? Yeah, something like that. And then sprint again. So yeah, it's a lot. You're gonna be moving your hands and fingers so much. Even on pad, I'm just like, this is too much. And I was doing it because I was just adjusted to doing it over and over again. But I'm like, I don't prefer to play this, and I don't think you need to do it because the game is fun without it. They added dolphin dive back, which is funny, not because it's like beneficial in any way, shape, or form. But it's really hilarious when like you're shooting down like a doorway and some dude just dives past you.
It's the funniest thing. Oh.
And then you just you're shooting, and the next thing you see a dude fly past, and you're like, okay. And they also have to wait a second before they can do something, which is like how dolphin dive used to be. The biggest thing I can say, well, not even the biggest thing, because there's a few big things. Footsteps, incredibly loud.
Mm-hmm.
They are astronomically loud, like louder than Modern Warfare 2019, Cold War, and Vanguard. These footsteps are prevalent.
And you know where they, like, I had a hard time in, I think it was Modern Warfare 2019. Like, you could hear them, but I have a hard time pinpointing where they're coming from. Like, this game, I know exactly where they're coming from.
Yeah, and you didn't even really have to adjust anything. It was just like, there it is. But it's a little too distinguishable. Infinity Ward has gone on record to say that they are going to make adjustments to the footstep audio. I think the first week they were like, okay, people are aware of this footstep, and we're like, we need to at least first off try and distinguish it. So they're working on making it so that teammate footsteps and enemy footsteps sound different.
Okay, good. Because at this point, everybody sounds like Mr. X.
It's just
from Resident Evil. Okay.
It's so fucking loud, and they are apparently going to adjust it. So maybe the closer they get, the louder it is. I do find this very enjoyable because I experienced this more in Ground War, proximity chat. They mentioned proximity chat at the Call of Duty Next event is coming to Ground War, which is hilarious because you can enter a room. They're like, is anyone in here? Yeah. Well, fuck you. And it's just like, I'm not going to shoot if you don't want to shoot. I'm going to shoot your ass. I'll shoot your ass, bitch. And it's just like a whole confrontation thing. I find it hilarious. And it's actually in Ground War, which I didn't realize until I was in one big building. And since I'm on PlayStation, I have the weird controller speaker set up. And I kept hearing music. And I'm like, what the fuck is this music? And I look on the TV and it's red. And I'm like, there's an enemy player listening to music loud as fuck. And he's in this building somewhere.
This is the problem when you give everybody a microphone. Because via PlayStation, everybody has a microphone.
These people don't know. And it was so bad because you know where he was? He was just on like the 4th floor, just sitting there waiting. He was sitting there waiting. And I was just like, bet. And I was like, I think I killed him. He was like, what the fuck? And I'm like, yeah, I can hear you, jackass.
Mute your controller.
Fuck.
Oh,
Nobody wants to hear you listen to music loud anyway, so it's the perfect punishment. This is what you get.
Wha-bam.
So I enjoy proximity chat. I feel bad for the people on Steam because they're never going to hear me. Because I have my audio from one game going into a different PC, so I can't even talk into it. So hilarious to me.
Yeah, I mean, I keep it muted at all times. So
I don't. I love hearing the salt. And I love invigorating the salt. It's very enjoyable to me.
You're just toxic.
I am toxic. That's how you play Call of Duty. But the biggest gripe for me and a lot of other people have been two main things. Oh, God.
Hot.
Excuse me.
I came.
One, it's always skill-based matchmaking. Oh, good, skill-based matchmaking. That's not really the big issue. The big issue is that people are not happy for the disbanding of lobbies. Now, you and I have played Call of Duty for years, and if you remember correctly, when you would fight somebody in a lobby, the lobby wouldn't disband and you would have to find a new lobby. It would just stay until people left the lobby.
Yeah, you would just deal with the same people.
People want that back. People enjoy having it and be like, oh my God, I can't believe we lost to those guys. I want the run back. I want to play them again. Can't do that anymore. Unless you message them and privately get it. But then sometimes because of the way the game works, you don't leave immediately and try to message them. You just are stuck, or the players that they show up in the recent play is not in order.
Yeah.
So you kind of lost. And people really want that. Infinity Ward is hearing the cries of it, and they're looking into it. So, who knows? The game comes out in late October. So we very well may have that comeback. The other thing, and this is the one that's biggest for me, the mini-map needs to be fixed. Now, I know you probably, since you didn't have as much time to really feel it, the mini-map does not show red dots for enemy players.
I mean, they come up on UAV. Like, I mean, when they shoot or...
When they shoot.
Oh, not even when it's silenced? I mean, when it's not silenced, it still doesn't come up?
They don't show up. They strictly said, Infinity Ward has gone out and said they wanted to make it more appealing for other players, so they removed the red dots for enemies when guns are fired on the map because they feel like it would promote a more advantageous situation for them to move around.
I did notice that. I thought it was crazy. I thought, oh, they must be ghosted or have silencers in their guns.
No. This is why this is the problem with it, right? The red dots on the map, when shooting a gun, would reveal where a player's location is. So they felt like it would be bad because the people who are more skilled and experienced, they'll head towards those red dots.
I mean, that's how you ring the dinner bell.
Exactly. You have to know where somebody is. It's like, okay, if you're in a gunfight and you can hear a gunfire that's not yours next to you, you want to go and investigate it. But you can't really do that.
Yeah, I mean, all you can do now is, I guess, go just off the audio.
You go off the audio and player tendencies. Then, on top of that, because of that one dynamic, what is the point of having a silencer?
Yeah,
Because before the silencers are used to, one, contain recoil, but at the expense, you would lose like damage. So something that would shoot and kill in like 2 or 3 hits will be like 4 or 5 potentially. But now you have no need to because you're not going to show up on the map. You can get other things to handle your recoil. You can get a rear grip. You can get a front grip. You can get a stock. A different barrel.
Yeah, what the hell would I use a suppressor for? I'm not going to do that then.
Because, yeah, you don't need to anymore. And then it also makes it so that, yeah, okay, you have dead silence. Dead silence seems good because, because footsteps are so fucking loud right now that obviously it's needed. Found this out through TikTok. Because dead silence is one of those equipment things or whatever it is. Whenever you press dead silence to equip it, it makes a noise as soon as it goes on. It's like, beep. I saw a dude who's played Search. He was looking for him, heard beep, turned around and killed the guy before he could even start moving with dead silence.
Well.
So it's like people want the ninja perk back so that this way you have the perk to immediately take less footsteps. There's like, the problem with Call of Duty isn't that the maps are bad, the guns are bad, anything like that. It's that they try really hard to go against the old motto, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Some people really just want like the joy of having a newer Call of Duty. You can adjust some perks and how they work. You can adjust how guns work. Give us more maps. Perfectly fine. But things like changing the mini-map because you don't want to make players like scared to move. No, this also promotes people not wanting to move.
That's going to be a lot more camping.
Yeah, so it's like a damned if you do, damned if you don't scenario.
Yeah. I hope they change that.
Yeah, a lot of people on Twitter have been really up in arms, like they need to change this mini map back.
Speaking of the mini map, I kind of like Bird's Eye, the perk, because
it extends it out.
It extends it out, and once you get all your perks, you can see what direction people are facing when the UAVs go off.
Yeah, it's very good.
That kind of takes over. Is that advanced UAV still a thing then?
It's still. You can still get an advanced.
Okay, because I think that's pretty cool. I don't think it's too OP because it's still it's just a quick ping on there. They could always change direction after that, but I think that's a cool addition.
Yeah.
To it.
I think I got lazy and was just using hardline because I was like, I don't feel like trying to adjust these perk systems. Oh, almost forgot. The other biggest complaint. These goddamn menus. The UI is so bad.
The UI is terrible. I was going to say, if you didn't mention it,
I knew I was forgetting something. I was like, I feel like I hit everything on the head for how this beta went.
I can't tell you how many times I was backed out of the game when the little today's message pops up, thinking that's going to take me to the home screen.
I thought that was the game.
Yeah, no, you got to hit start and then navigate home to get you to where you want to be.
I just scrolled down until it said play game.
I didn't see that.
Exactly. I didn't know what you just said was a thing either.
Yeah, when you first turn the game on and it shows you like Modern Warfare beta. Yeah, message of the day. I'm like, okay, let me hit B so I can go back to the back. No, it just takes you exit game. No, I don't want to exit the game. Wait a minute.
Oh my god, it's so bad. I knew this was bad because somebody showed on. It's really centered around people who use mouse and keyboard. And you can tell because it's like, oh, it's a pretty UI, and if you use mouse and keyboard, it's pretty easy to navigate. Now, for controller people, which is like, I don't know, 85 to 90% of the player base on Call of Duty, it's so bad. One of the guns, which I think is the Lockman, right? When you go to the progression to see, okay, this is the weapon tiers that you unlock and what you do to progress it. If you press down, you go down. If you press right, you go up. If you press left, you go up. It is bad. And somebody shared it, and they were like, yeah, this is the problem with the UI. People hate it now.
It sucks. It sucks so bad. I was like, what the fuck
I was like, it doesn't take that much work. You just need to go in. You can keep it stylized. You just need to make it work. And
make it make sense. Like,
It's so bad.
I will say, I will give kudos to the way it ran on my PC versus Modern Warfare 1, the 2019 one. Like, initially, granted, it's just the beta. There's not as much game happening, so I will see what happens on final release. It did crash twice.
Mine, when I played on PC, it crashed on me maybe 6 times, and I didn't play a whole lot of it. It crashed on everybody a lot.
God damn it.
A lot of it was like, oh yeah, you're gonna start up the game, but you're in like the gunsmith menu. Crash. It was like, yeah, it was like shit in the bed everywhere. It was not.
Oh my god.
It's crashing a lot.
I was gonna say, oh yeah, because it ran like when I was in the game, it was running. It was using a lot less of my graphics card than 2019 did.
Man, so I don't know what this was, but when I was playing on PC, at one point, I was playing it in every map except for, I think it's called Farm, whichever the like kind of semi-green, grayish one.
Yeah, that's Farm.
That map would always lag. Every time I played on that map, I was getting like maybe like stuttery frame rate, less than 30. And I'm like, yo, what is happening? And I have to wait. I had to end up going to the corner of a map and just sitting there and wait for the game to end. And I'm like, what is happening? And it's just this map. Museum works just fine. The streets, ground war, all that stuff works fine. Like, it's just this map. I uninstalled and reinstalled and it worked fine. I don't know what the fuck was going on.
It sounds like it was, I don't know, it sounds like that code in that map was eating your processor.
Dude, I thought it was something wrong with the game, but Keelek was like, yeah, just reinstall the shaders and see if it works. I'm like,
the fucking shaders, man.
Let me try. First, the shaders installation, much better.
It is.
It's 10 times better. Everything's so much quicker. And I'm like, cool. But I uninstalled the shaders, reinstalled them, still had the problem. I was like, I'm uninstalling the game, reinstall. It's just a beta. It's not going to take that long. I got fiber internet. It's going to take me, what, maybe like 10 minutes, maybe less. It's only like 15 gigs. Cool. Installed it. First map up, the one that's been giving me problems. Works just fine. I was like, I don't know. I don't know. But you know what? It's fixed. Don't care.
Yep, everything's fine.
The only other problem on PC was at first, and I don't know if they fixed it, controller support was not working.
I I had to Google the fix.
Okay, so that means they didn't fix it.
Yeah, I had to go to
You had to open up the Steam property settings and do it. I think, and I don't know if it was just a Steam problem, because I don't think people had the issue on Battle.net. But because it was on Steam, for some reason, you had to select like the properties and instead of use whatever, you had to like default it so that it would always go to Xbox controller. But it's weird because it would know you had a controller in before it. And the problem was...
Yeah, because it would work on the menu.
It would work on the menu, but it wouldn't work.
It locked out your being able to aim with your controller in the controller settings.
Fam, I was just like, what is going on?
I don't know. It's so weird.
It's so horrendously weird. And I'm like, okay, this is just beta stuff. This is all beta information.
Yeah.
That when the game's full release in like a month, they'll probably have this all ironed out and cleared before it even hits the store shelves. And I mean, the best part is we get to play the campaign early, so we're gonna get that early.
Do we?
Campaign comes out early. If you pre-ordered it, you get campaign early access like a week or two early.
Oh shit!
I think you get the campaign 2 weeks early.
Okay, yeah, you can knock that out since I ain't got to worry about being left behind in multiplayer.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like cool. You get to experience the campaign, get a feel for how guns were. But I kind of like using the M4 and the G and the score and blah, 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 blah. And you get to have that whole feeling. You get to have a cinematic experience with everybody in their skeleton faces. Because everybody's now a spooky, scary skeleton.
They're spooky. I should probably play the first campaign to know what the hell's going on.
I should. I might do that. I might uninstall like Vanguard and then go from there. Because I have Vanguard installed. I'm like, you know what, Vanguard? You had your time in the sun. Goodbye. And then I might uninstall Warzone and just install the campaign for 2019. Be like, cool. Those games eat up hard drives like nobody's business. So just trying to make the most of the space I got. But Jurisdiction on Call of Duty is, I think it's fun. I think it's the best Call of Duty since 2019. I can't wait to play it on release. I'm excited. Everybody I know is actually excited. So, yeah.
I was going to say dildo. Ditto. I echo all the same sentiments. I had a good time.
Yeah, dildo.
I had a good time with what I played.
Yeah, so it'll be fun. So probably on this channel, you'll see like some gameplay, maybe some commentary, up-to-date news on Call of Duty. You may see some fun matches. Warzone 2, you'll get more information as that comes along as well.
Yes.
We can do a slight... We're going to do... Okay. So this was a major focal point of the last podcast, the Ghost one. But I figure we can just talk about it real quick since Call of Duty is the big thing. But because of Call of Duty, that comes with Activision Blizzard.
Ba-ba.
So that acquisition is still in the works.
It's still happening. Microsoft CEO, what's his butt? I can pull up the actual information.
Randy Newman. Going to get the Call of Duty, put it on an Xbox. Hey there, shooter. Ride the scooter. Making sure we're having some fun.
Here we go. And this is going to come from, let me find something that doesn't sound booty. Oh, Video Games Chronicle. There we go. Yeah, Microsoft CEO says he's very confident the Activision deal will gain approval. And that is Satya Nadella, which I did not know that was his name.
I love how you just butcher names. It's beautiful.
Isn't that Satya Nadella?
I don't know how to pronounce it.
Satya. Yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm just like, I can tell that you don't either.
I struggle with names over the phone. I'm like, this is this person, and that's them.
I made this joke, I think, to Final Boss the other day. It's like those people who name their kids such weird things. And I think it was an old Vine, and it was like a substitute teacher taking roll call, and they looked at the paper, and then it was like, is shithead here? It's Shatheed.
Yeah, Shatheed. Why would you name your child that shit?
Like, oh, okay.
You just don't like your kid.
Right.
But the CEO, Nadella, said, quote, "Of course, any acquisition of this size will go through scrutiny, but we feel very, very confident that will come out." So, yeah, he's not too worried about it. He was like, if this is about competition, let us have competition. That's what he said.
Yeah, I mean, I think it makes sense. The biggest acquisition in gaming is this. It's such a landmark deal, even bigger than the Bethesda one, which people are like, damn, this is huge. This is even bigger.
Yeah.
And I think the best thing to go off of is that not only is this huge and Microsoft's confident it'll go down, I think most people are confident it will go down because, well, Microsoft has money.
If Disney can if Disney can get away with all the shit they've bought up, then Microsoft
Disney
can do
bought
this.
Marvel and Fox, and we were just like, whoa. And Star Wars. I forget that's not in the dichotomy of it, but they were that whole time frame. I was like, there's no way a company can do this. And you know what?
Guess what?
It happened, and it's kind of for the better for like every party involved.
Yeah, and it's one of them things where no, I don't like the idea of monopolization of the industry, but at the same time, this particular purchase, I think is for the best, especially the way Activision's been run the last few years and all the accusations and the controversy and the harassment. Having a more responsible big brother in Microsoft to look over what the fuck they're doing.
Their stock value increased when the announcement first came out those many months ago.
Like, it sucks, but at the same time, this needs to happen just for the people who fucking work there.
Yeah.
So they can make more than just Call of Duty for one thing. You get better game quality.
We can get rid of Bobby Kotick.
Yes, he is definitely going to exit out of there when they take over.
When all this is there?
Oh.
Adios,
They're like, he's going to stay on. Yeah, he's going to stay on. They don't mention it apart to this point. And then he'll probably fucking fade off and take it right off into the sunset with his millions of dollars.
Right.
When he probably should fucking be in jail for the shit he lets get away with.
After he leaves with his millions of dollars, he'll be fined, legislated, put into court, and then promptly put into jail, the butt jail.
Oh, yeah, he gets the butt jail.
But yeah, I mean, the reason I bring this back up, Sony's salty. Sony mad salty.
super duper salty.
Sony has been hearing this, and they're fucking big mad. They are very upset, thinking that how dare they monopolize us? That you should never make big titles like this exclusive. Meanwhile, Sony, who also likes to have exclusive games, and also likes to find a way to deal up exclusive contracts, like, I don't know, the Call of Duty contract they're currently in, where they get exclusive content, early access, and tons of other things, just feels, how do I put it, really stupid. It feels like it's like the pot calling the kettle black.
Oh, absolutely it is.
It's like,
absolutely it is.
It's like, do you hear yourself?
With all the weird shit that they do.
Exactly. I just found out recently, you know why MLB The Show is on Xbox?
Oh, because
MLB told them.
MLB was like, yeah, you need to get this shit on Xbox.
I didn't even put the two together that the league was just like, no, you put it on everything. And they were like, okay, fine. And besides, not everybody's buying a PlayStation for friggin' baseball. You might as well just say, all right, cool, we got the money for the studio, just put it on everything, and look how it's handling. It's getting played. People are enjoying it. Yeah, I don't know how it is on Switch. I'm not going to find out.
We're not going to worry about Switch.
But I know on Xbox it runs well.
Yeah.
And they all play together. So that's even better. Only thing I want now is for them to put it on PC. The next gen one. I can't stress this enough. For the love of God, if you put MLB The Show on PC, please let it be the PS5 and Series X version.
Yeah, don't pull an EA and throw like old versions of Madden and FIFA and
It's not even just EA. 2K does it with NBA as well.
Really?
They both do it.
Oh, wow.
That's why I have not bought I love sports games, but I don't play them a lot because they're sports games and they rip you off. But I always have this itch. Like, I have an itch to play basketball right now. Real freaking bad. But $70 is a steep asking price, Steve. It's very steep.
No, we're not playing basketball for $70.
And I would love to
play basketball free.
I gotta buy a ball, so like $10. I would love to play. I ain't going out there. It's fucking raining. I would love to play NBA on my personal computer, but it's the Xbox One version, and it has been for like the past 2 years. So it's like you guys just aren't doing the same, and the same thing for Madden and FIFA, and they just won't stop. So it's just very funny when I hear companies like PlayStation talk crap about exclusivity because you guys don't play ball your damn self.
No, especially they're the worst about it. Like Sony is such a walled garden when it comes to things. Like it's crazy, even with their own content. Like
It is.
you know, with backward like their legacy stuff and everything else. Like no, okay, all right.
Their
Jim
backwards
Ryan.
compatibility, bad.
You got a lot in there.
It took them forever to start. I remember they were like PC games or PlayStation games will never come to PC. It's terrible. They're finally coming out, but they're coming out extra late.
And the trickle of it, like
The trickle of it's super low, and it's still they're charging $60.
bruh, it's
They're
like
still charging full price.
it's the first Horizon. It's God of War 2018, and
Spider-Man's on there,
Spider-Man made
and
it.
Miles Morales is coming.
But I bet you won't see Spider-Man 2.
Not initially, no.
No, which
You won't see Ragnarok for another 3 years.
you know, it's they treat their stuff kind of like the way Nintendo does, where they know they have these strong IP, so they know they can get away with with how much they charge for them and where they put them at.
But the biggest difference between Sony and Nintendo is that Nintendo usually finds a way to make their peripherals like a part of the subject, right? So the Switch is like the rare exception where like now they've said we're making a very traditional video game console, but it has a gimmick where you can play the video game console anywhere, right? Not too much crazy. It has the motion controls and it's like it kind of works, but nobody really uses it. But you're not gonna see Wii Sports. I'm sorry, Nintendo Switch Sports. I don't remember what the fucking name of the game was on PC because you're using Switch controllers. That's fine. Now, PlayStation, on the other hand, they have. I'm just gonna name something recent. We're just gonna do Forbidden West, Horizon Forbidden West, right? Probably one of their biggest titles. They put out Horizon Zero Dawn. Forbidden West has no announcement of it coming to PlayStation anytime. I'm sorry, to PC anytime soon. And it's not like you can't use the controller because PS5 controllers work on Steam.
Yeah,
And they get the functionality of a PS5 controller.
yeah. I don't know if they have a solid PC plan. It seems
They
so.
don't.
It doesn't look like it. It's so weird.
So it's that's why I really love Xbox because, well, obviously it makes sense because Windows and Microsoft and Xbox are all in the same ecosystem. But because they're all in the same ecosystem, Game Pass works, Xbox works, game studios that even work for PC on Steam work. So like Killer Instinct can play with Killer Instinct on any platform. It's a little cumbersome because it's an older game, but it can work. Halo Master Chief Collection works. Forza Horizon works. You don't have any issues. And especially with like the cross-save functionality, everything works just fine. So it's really damning when I hear, hey, we don't like your exclusivity deals. PlayStation has too many sour grapes shoved up their ass.
Yeah,
And they just got a lot of fucking nerve.
yeah. They salty. They'll get over it though.
You damn right they will.
They'll get over it.
So you have anything else
Well,
you'd like to share with the class?
I mean, Call of Duty took a lot of time and whatnot. Just some real quick stuff. Just some stuff I got from Xbox Wire. Grounded is finally out of beta and is fully out now for people to play it. That is the survival game.
Man, fuck that.
From
That motherfucker got big old
It's
bugs.
got big spiders and shit. You can turn on a mode though to make them look.
They're still scary.
to make them look like balls.
They are still scary. I saw that thing and it was just like, oh yeah, this is like if they put Grounded on original Xbox. It's like, oh, you can kind of make out what it is.
You kind of make it out. You know what it is, though. It is still going to get you. Just so just if anybody's interested in Grounded, it's out. It is reviewing well. It's at an 82 on Metacritic. So, good for them. There is a new controller out. Coming. I don't think it's out yet. It's coming out. It's the special edition mineral camo controller.
Woohoo.
I'm not a huge fan of these camouflage line of controllers.
Their camo looks kind of shitty.
Yeah, I don't.
I hate to be the negative Nancy for it, but PlayStation's camo line looks actually much better.
Yeah, I think it looks better as well. I'm not a big fan of how this one looks. But that's a thing you can do. The core controller is now out.
I do want to speak on the core controller real quick because I was just looking through Wire 64, I think last night. The core controller is $130. Remember these prices, by the way. The extra pack to get the accessories for the controller, if you want them at a later date, is $60. An Elite Series 2 controller is usually on sale for $160.
Oh dear.
Do you see the problem here?
Yeah.
And the worst part of all, I was scrolling through Twitter before we started the show, and I saw that they also linked that, yeah, the Elite Series controller is on sale from some website. I forgot what it was. $130.
I know. I've seen it go down there. Yeah.
It's like, why
real
the
real tempting.
You would literally be paying $130 for the color white. That's it. And I'm not too pressed about it because I'm just like, I already have an Elite controller and I understand that they're trying to get people who may not have an Elite controller but kind of want it in. I get it. But for the love of God, the prices for just the pieces, $60 is so much. If it was $30, I'd be like, you know what? That's not too bad. It's not too bad. You're getting a little close to what you're paying, but now you're paying $130 plus another $60. That's $190. The normal asking price for the controller is around $180, but the controller is always on sale. I have not seen this controller not be on sale since it came out.
Yeah, and I mean, I would complain more, but it's not. It's like a luxury item. It's not really something you need. It's not an essential thing for the system. So they can kind of charge whatever they want because you don't really need it to operate the unit in any way.
Who cares?
I'm
complaining because I can complain.
I mean, and it's on top of that, it's a luxury item. For luxury game systems are luxury items. These are necessities.
This is why you can complain, because 2 negatives equal to positive.
God damn it, make it cheaper.
Just make it, it don't gotta be super cheap, just a smidge.
No, make it cheaper. I would like to buy 2 more Elite 2
okay.
controllers.
You'd be better off stealing them then.
Yeah.
The fuck? Make them super cheap. I just want to rob you.
But yeah, I mean, I feel it. I understand.
So yeah.
Can you buy me one though?
Hell no.
Okay. Well,
you can buy your own controller with your own pickles.
Shit, I just might.
Okay.
I'm not. I don't want to get yelled at no more.
Good, because I'd yell at you.
I got like 5 controllers.
Not too many. So that being said, let's drive right into the Xbox Game Pass pick of the week.
The pick of the week.
Pick of the week. So I'm just gonna piggyback off what I said last week since y'all didn't even hear it. My pick of the week is Yakuza 0. Now, yes, I could tell you to go play Deathloop. You already heard me say how you should play it. So there's our freebie for you. But I do recommend you play Yakuza 0. All of the Yakuza games are on there. But if you want to get in a chronological order, play Yakuza 0. If you want to get into order of how they should be played because of the quality, probably play Kiwami 1. Because that's a PS2 game that just got up-res. But Yakuza 0 is the story starter. It's very fun. Tons of stuff to do. Combat's engaging. What else is there? Because there's a lot of talking. It's a very big narrative-heavy game.
Yes, be prepared. It's an RPG. You fight and shit like an action game, but it's an RPG. Prepare yourself.
So there's a lot of talking, but the action's super fun. There's moves to unlock, different move sets, tons of extra things to do in these games. Yakuza 0 specifically has bowling, slot car racing, looking at women.
Look at that woman.
Dancing, karaoke. Oh, what is that thing called? It's something where it's like you invest your money into businesses for being like a landlord. It's really ridiculous.
Is that the cabaret stuff? No. There's property management. Yeah.
Yeah, there's property management. Yeah. There's also the cabaret club management as well. And of course, I'd be failed to mention this, but there are arcades. And the arcades have things, there's like darts in them, there's crane games, and there's video games. Because you'll notice this is a trend in every Yakuza game, but Sega likes to put Sega arcades into these places, since it usually takes place in Japan, where Club Sega, rest in peace, used to be, which is no longer here anymore, which is really upsetting. Because I was like, man, I can't wait to go to Japan and visit Club Sega. But they had shut its doors, and a lot of people were very upset about that.
They were like, bitch, you thought.
This was like one of those things. It was an iconic building. It really was. But you can go into several arcades, several Sega cabinets. I think this one you can play like Outrun, Space Harrier. There's like another one, but I can't remember what it is off the top of my head.
And don't do what I did and just kind of run through the main story without doing all that side stuff, because you get money for all that stuff, and money is how you level up. So I fucked up and made the end of the game way harder than I needed it to be.
Yes, you did. That's why, like, what do you mean you didn't do anything? Like, half the game is walking forward and be like, oh, there's just a dude here. And
I would ignore that weird motherfucker and keep it moving.
Well, that's because he's walking around and draws like, ooh, you don't feel it? Ooh!
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, you said it. Goodbye.
Then you're just, as Kiryu, that is weird.
It's fucking weird.
He knows it's weird. You as the player is like, that's weird.
But yeah.
But it's a fun game, and I do recommend you play it.
I will also run back mine from last week, which is You Suck at Parking.
I had to remember what it was. I'm like, was it that one or that one? That one or that one?
Yep, fun little isometric vehicle-based game where you're taking your little car and you're running it through various obstacle courses. The single-player campaign is pretty fun on its own, but the real bread and butter of it, I think, is the online, where you're trying to get through the obstacle courses and park your car before everybody else does, and it's chaos, and it's fucking hilarious seeing these shitty little cars getting wrecked. It's fun. Like, it is a real fun game. I've been thinking about that game since I played it. I want to go back to it and get online and play some more of it. So, I bigly recommend.
You know, I literally made a comment saying I think my English is going to be very bad this episode, and somehow you surpassed me like 2 or 3 times now.
I dildo recommend You Suck at Parking.
Oh, dildo.
I definitely recommend You Suck at Parking. Give it a shot. It is a fun game, especially with your friends.
Yeah. So with that said, now it's time to move into our final piece of Resistance, where Steve gets to guess the game.
Now, it should be said that on the Ghost show that you don't see, I got it right. Do I remember what that guess was? No. But I got it right. So, you know, we'll see what the one on record does.
That's hilarious, by the way. He got it right, and then the camera footage gave out. He's just like, I got it right this week, and nobody's gonna know. It was a very bad time, but it's fine. We got
okay. It's in the past.
It's fine. I got a minute on the clock. Are you ready for your game?
All right. Let me get my questions in my head. I'm ready.
All right, and begin.
Okay. Known platform. Is this a console exclusive?
Yes.
Okay. Is it Xbox exclusive?
Yes.
Okay. Is this on the current? Is this a current series that is released on the current systems? No. Is this only for the original Xbox?
It was on original Xbox, but it's not only there.
It's not only there, so it's come forth since. Mm-hmm. And I'm guessing the entire game, right? Not the character. Mm-hmm. Okay, so is this we've narrowed down genre RPG?
Nope.
Does the character wear a hat?
Sure.
Is it a male character?
Sure.
Is there more than one character?
Yeah.
Is it a fighting game?
No.
Is it a sports title?
Sort of.
Is this snowboarding?
No.
Is it any kind of extreme sports?
No.
Okay, is it basketball?
No.
Why did I say it like that? Football?
No.
Baseball?
No.
What the fuck is this? This is a sports game, right?
Technically.
Technically. Is it racing?
Yes.
Racing game. Is it... Oh.
Ooh.
Racing game, Xbox, Project Gotham?
He did it again!
Hey!
he was like... Look at this man. He's on fire. He's got it.
I'm sweaty.
That's what I was like. I mean, it kind of is. Like, characters, like, I mean, they wear helmets. Like, that's kind of a hat.
Oh, fuck.
Male? I don't know. I think you can pick between the two. Like... I don't know what the fuck they look like, people. Oh, man. Yeah, I thought of the game and I was like, you know, I haven't ever said Project Gotham at all. And I thought about that game series recently, so I was like, this would be a perfect pick.
Mm-hmm. If it's not currently running and is racing in this Xbox, it's Project Gotham.
There's another one.
Sega GT.
There's another one. And I guarantee you probably wouldn't be able to guess this one. That's why I was gonna choose it. But I feel like I'll lock it in the chamber. For later.
Oh, for later? Okay, and then we're gonna try to guess it then.
Yeah. Well, that's been our show. Thank you guys for joining us. Once again, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and keep all of your diddlies in your pockets. And if you haven't, be sure to share this podcast with all of your friends who like watching me. And maybe Steve. Or like Steve and maybe me. Preference, preferential treatment. And if you're an audio listener, of course, Steve can tell you what you could do.
You can go to all of our podcast services around the globe. That's Spotify, that's Google Podcasts, that's Apple Podcasts, that's SoundCloud, and give us a wonderful review there. We will love you forever for it. 5 stars all the way. Nothing else matters. All right.
So with that said, thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you on the next episode of SFXX Talks about being off the rails so you can jump in and play more.
Might having a nosebleed. Bye.